The Alberta separatist movement just faced its first real test, a by-election for a seat in the legislature, and the separatist candidate lost badly.
Our movement is not going away, we're just getting started.
Despite the brave face, the fact is Cam Davies came in third place.
I think this was a slap in the face to them. This was a major opportunity for them, and I think they blew that opportunity. It was not a good day for the separatists.
Not a good day because it seemed like the separatists had momentum. Recent polling found the intensity of the desire to separate higher than it's been in years. That while an organized effort to hold a referendum on separation is ramped up, triggered in large part by yet another Liberal win in another federal election. For a lot of Albertans, that was it. They'd had enough, especially in rural parts of the province, where a poll conducted for CBC News found almost 40% support for separation compared to close to 30% province-wide. And the riding of Olds-Didsbury-Three Hills appeared to be tailor-made for a separatist candidate. It's the only place in the province to have ever elected a separatist.
Who is Gordon Kessler, the man who wants to pull the West out of Confederation? Well, sometimes he's a rodeo cowboy.
Gordon Kessler won a by-election back in 1982 at the height of Alberta's fury with Pierre Trudeau's detested national energy program. Kessler demanded direct democracy on the idea of separation.
That issue will be decided by the people of this province through a referendum.
And he's still at it. That's Kessler in the cowboy hat sitting next to Cam Davies at a recent forum. Gordon Kessler now lives in the States, and these days he's imploring Albertans to join the U.S.
You need to get your neighbors, you need to talk to them, you need to explain to them that the only hope for a brighter future is to become the 51st state of America. God bless all of you, and God bless Alberta.
Do you think Alberta should be separate from Canada?
Davies also lived in the States. He says he joined the U.S. Marines in 2019, something he played up during the recent campaign, explaining on a podcast why he didn't enlist in Canada.
Because at the time, the Canadian military, and probably not much has changed, is more focused on putting tampons in the men's room than warfighting capabilities.
Davies worked as a backroom organizer in conservative circles for years. He made headlines for his role in a UCP leadership scandal that resulted in Davies paying almost $30,000 in fines. After his recent falling out with the UCP, he founded the Republican Party of Alberta. Point is, he knows conservative politics and was running in a very conservative riding. But he took just 18% of the vote in Olds-Didsbury-Three Hills behind the NDP candidate and the winning UCP candidate. And so it all raises the question, if a separatist candidate can't win in a riding like that, is this movement all hat and no cattle? Will it fizzle as it did in the 80s and then again after the 2019 federal election when the Wexit movement emerged and eventually faded away? Well, our political scientist says not necessarily, because this isn't like those other moments in history. Alberta has never had a party in power made up of so many members who are sympathetic to separation, or a premier who is lowering the threshold to hold a referendum on the idea, as Danielle Smith is doing, though she insists she wants Alberta to remain in Canada.
Is there a group that wants independence? Absolutely. As I said, since 1905. The difference is this is coming from the top down, trying to create those conditions, what Jacques Parizeau would call the winning conditions.
The next test will be more telling. The people pushing for an Alberta divorce from Canada are going to have to meet the legislative threshold to trigger a referendum, a major signature drive over a fixed period of time. That process hasn't started yet, but the pro-separation forces want a referendum by the end of this year.